This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast, number one podcast in Oakland, number one podcast in the Bay Area. And today I am joined by a random person. Who knows how we connected, but we are connected. And I really don't have a certain reason, but we're here and we're going to see where this conversation goes.
Do you know who I am? I know that's like the weirdest thing to say to somebody.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
Welcome, Jessica, to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Are you I don't know if you're a music person. I don't know what you do. So we're going to find that out during this conversation.
Yeah, I think that's good. But
yeah, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad we're here too.
What defines you? When they say Jessica, who was Jessica?
Well, I guess in Hebrew it means wealthy, or I want to say it because I don't want people hating on me for being Jewish. And
oh my God.
I know. I'm scared though.
Just so you're Jewish?
Well, I don't practice at all. My grandfather on my dad's side was. So does that make me Jewish?
No.
Okay.
I think you're Jewish when your mom has to be Jewish for you to be Jewish, I think.
I don't know.
But don't quote me on that because I might be wrong.
You could be wrong. Or the either Ancestry or 23andMe results indicated that my family was between 20 and 24% or 28% Ashkenazi Jew, which is different.
Yeah.
Because, people always think that there's this idea that Judaism is a religion or is a race. And
yeah, that's what I always ask every Jewish person. But all of them say the different shit. Exactly.
And they've been fighting over for a while. In fact, one of my ex-boyfriends, his mom's, she used to say, I want to say his name on the air, but, well, not the air, but the pod. I'll just say this. He used to, let me take a drink for this.
Oh my God, that serious?
They used to argue because she would say, "Oh, well, I have Jewish blood in me." And, they would say, "Oh, you can't be Jewish. Jewish is a religion." But
this is what his parents would used to say to you?
Turns out she was actually right.
Well, I don't think Jew whatever is a religion. I think it's just a group of people, because you can have black people who are Jewish. You can have fucking white people that are Jewish. Like Lenny Kravitz is Jewish and he's black, and that's because his mother is Jewish. What makes him Jewish?
I think it can be both, because it's depending on who you assimilate with, right? Who you decide to have a family with. And I think that's why Drake is so confused about everything, because he's sitting here like, I'm black
Mm.
and I'm Jewish, and he's kind of conflicted between two sides of him that are oppressed.
Yeah.
And that is gotta be a shitty situation to be in.
Are you originally from the Bay Area?
No, I'm from New York.
Okay.
But like, not like the city, okay?
You're from like Syracuse or something?
No, I'm from Buffalo.
Buffalo. That's worse.
What do you mean it's worse?
Well, I mean, I assume it's worse. Cold all the fucking time.
Stop it. Are you serious?
What's Buffalo, New York like?
First of all, fun.
That's the first I've ever heard that word described.
Well, yeah, we got the Bills. Go Bills! Josh Allen. Gosh Allen. Let's go.
Anyways.
And we regardless of whatever controversies he's facing, okay, just sometimes you put blinders on, okay?
Okay, you have the Bills. What else? That's it?
No. Community. My mother and my sister have really cool art stuff going on, and they are supporting the hostel. It's the Buffalo Hostel, and it's the only hostel in Buffalo. I just feel like they need to, be able to have that space for the community. Because money comes and goes, okay? People come and go. But your community stays with you. That's your support system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When I was younger, my dad would always tell me about the 3 G's in life. Girls, grass, and golf. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a weird combination.
You know
the grass and golf part. I'm down with the first one.
You know what I mean by grass, right?
Huh?
You know what I mean by grass, right?
No.
Weed.
Oh, weed.
I don't do that.
I don't smoke either.
No, I have asthma. It bothers me.
So your dad was like a hippie?
No, he was just a degenerate. I don't want to say degenerate because I don't like the connotation of that word. Okay. I think the word degenerate should be replaced with maybe regenerate or something different. Because I think that calling somebody a degenerate is mean. You don't want to be mean to somebody.
But if that's what they are, then is it mean saying the truth?
Well, you can say the truth, but you can, and I don't want to say this, but you can sugarcoat it. When I say sugarcoat it, I mean like this.
You mean bullshit, that's what you mean.
No. Bullshitting and sugarcoating are 2 different things. Okay, talk about it. Because sugarcoating, you are being insincere. Okay? You're telling people lies. I don't do that. No. If I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you straight. Yes. You might not be able to handle it.
The whole New York persona of you.
Well, it's realistic. I'm not trying to be in New York. I'm trying to be real with you. Like Jenny from the block. Because I'm real.
So what were you doing in New York? Were you going to school? What happened?
Well, what do you mean? Like before I came here? Well,
how was your life in New York like?
My life in New York was crazy. We worked hard. It wasn't like San Francisco,
Mhm.
you know, in Buffalo, there's no drugs. Like, you can't go outside the street and get cocaine. You can't really get ketamine. Like, you really have to find where the drugs are.
Was this a small town you lived in?
Well,
Buffalo, because Buffalo is like a big city. Yes.
it is a big city. Yes. Don't quote me on this, but maybe it has more than 500,000 people.
Mm.
You'd have to look at the census data, from this to see.
So were you living in
accurate.
actual Buffalo, or did you live like on the outskirts or like in another town close to Buffalo?
So I grew up in Tonawanda, Kenmore East. Okay. Originally I lived on West Klein. And I would have loved to live there. But my dad had a bad gambling problem and a bad drug problem and a bad lying problem. And he wasn't honest with himself. And I think that really hurt him in the long run.
Were your dad and mom married?
Yes, they were.
Both in the household when you were growing up?
Correct. But you know what the thing is? Here's why my dad wasn't honest. Because he wasn't honest with himself. My dad, you know, he used to say the N-word all the time. And it's not okay. I know it was okay for his generation to use that because as Charlemagne the God, you know, you can only speak for this. I cannot speak for this. Okay? So you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? But, you know.
Your dad was racist. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't influence you? You never said the N-word before?
Here's what.
Yes, you have. I know you have.
Here's what it did. It made me realize I needed to look at myself. Because if you are saying hateful things to other people, then you need to examine yourself and why you're doing that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because also as Charlemagne the God says, hurt people hurt people.
Did you ever bring a black boy home just to piss your dad off?
No. I didn't care what my dad think because he wasn't there.
Okay. So
I wish he was there because he was funny. He was hilarious. He used to go on the radio and he would talk about sports. He would talk about comedy. I don't know if this is true or not. If this is wrong, please tell me, okay? But he would talk, he would do impressions of Gilbert Godfrey, and he was so good at it that he actually got to meet Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, yeah? I don't even know what that is, but sounds impressive.
No. Stop.
Who is that?
You don't know who that is?
No.
Bro. What the fuck? How do you not know who that is?
Are you going to tell me who he is or not?
The voice of Iago in Aladdin?
The voice of who? The parrot?
The parrot?
In Aladdin?
Don't make me do an impression of him.
Is he the voice of the parrot in Aladdin? That's what you're talking about?
Hey! Kind of like this.
Well, that's a horrible impression, but
I know.
I think I know what you're talking
The
about.
reason why my dad could do it was because he had a different nose.
Mm.
And that's why I like guys with triangle noses.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, that is a Jewish
a trait.
characteristic, I guess.
Well, it's not only in Jewish people; it's also in black.
But we don't have big pointy noses. We have nice circular, perfect noses.
And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bone structure. You know what I mean?
So when did you come to California? Or did you come when you left New York?
I came in California in 2015.
From New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I loved it.
What was the reason?
Because I wanted to be a health policy nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I kept reading these articles from Charlene Harrington, who's a great nursing theorist. She talks about nursing home litigation cases.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. It's so freaking interesting. Every time I hear her, I'm like, man, I wish I could be that person. And shout out to her. I want to give her flowers.
What's her name again?
Charlene Harrington.
Charlene, okay.
She's actually in the Bay. She's UC Berkeley. If she's listening.
She works at UC Berkeley?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to talk to her sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a fear that I overwhelm people about who I am. Because I kind of have insecurities that I don't know if people will accept. And it's kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
What's the insecurities?
Well, whether people will accept me or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of circles back to the whole, like, Drake and my dad. Because, like, it's kind of like an analogy, a symbolism. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know, I have to think for a second because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that sentence is actually a lie. We can talk about that later. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I do want to ask the audience whether I'm not going to lie, saying that sentence before something is actually a lie or not.
Well, it probably, yeah. It's just like saying no, when you say, before you say something, you say, oh, no disrespect, but whatever you're saying after that is going to be disrespect. But anyway, let's get back to your insecurities. So you have a fear of not getting accepted. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. So, the fear of being not accepted and, for my dad and Drake. So, I think Drake is afraid. And I don't know Drake. Okay. I don't know him. But
Yeah,
I'm just
we know that.
Speaking because I work with mental health patients and I have been a nurse for, since 2014. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, my judgment is good or not is up to everybody's interpretation. But if it's not, sorry, I had a bad day. It do be like that sometimes. It does be like that sometimes.
What is your job title?
Which job?
Yeah, you said you're a nurse. Like, what exactly? You are a RN nurse?
No, I work 3 jobs.
3 nursing jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that since I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about insecurities and being accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that kind of plays into that because talking about my insecurities kind of helps me get over that.
Uh-huh.
Because I think suppressing it makes things kind of build, but you want to get things off your chest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why it kind of helps, because it helps you relieve that part of your brain that, and your probably CO2, something like that, some pressure system in your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where you need to relax, right? Because your body works like a sympathetic nervous system. Okay. So it's just trying to mellow out. So
Is there anything you want to get off your chest now?
we'll talk about my insecurities.
Mm.
We'll run that back. I don't mind being vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
because in order to, start from the bottom, now we're here. You have to figure out.
You love Drake, don't you? A lot of Drake references.
Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest?
Yes.
Okay. I do like Kendrick more than Drake because of his last song, Not Like Us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying this because I'm white. I like pop music. I like Shania Twain. I like Justin Bieber. I like Flavor Flav. I like everything in between. Flavor Flav.
Mm-hmm.
I like Weird Al. I like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I even like Depeche Mode.
Yes, everyone likes everything.
Mm-hmm. That's why you got the hat on. I see you.
So you came out here from New York to California to pursue nursing and end up staying. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've been doing nursing for how long? You said what?
Since 2014.
Since 2014?
Yeah.
Okay. What school did you go to?
Well,
did you go to like a nursing school or?
I went to a private college. I took out all the money. I took out loans.
Mm.
And it really sucked because I didn't have a good dad. I didn't have somebody to provide me with an education. Like I told you before, my dad wasn't really responsible, and he didn't pay all his dues.
Mm. He gambled your college fund away, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of drugs.
Mm.
He would tell me, Jess, there's only 2 drugs I haven't done. I'm like, what'd you do? What'd you not do? He was like, I didn't do. What was it?
Heroin?
No.
Oh, he tried that.
He didn't do heroin because he doesn't like needles. He's afraid of needles.
Mm.
Okay. At that time when he told me this, meth really wasn't popular. Okay. People, if you were doing meth, it wasn't in Buffalo. So we didn't know about meth there. So just to kind of set the context for it, because the location also matters too, as well as the place and the time.
Yeah.
Right. So he said that. That's pretty fucking cool.
Did you ever do drugs with him?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to drink because my dad told me it was the only way you're gonna be cool, Jess. You gotta chill out.
So you used to drink with him?
Yeah, actually, when I was 15, my dad told me that if I didn't drink, I'd be a loser. Because people want to have fun. And if you don't have fun, then you go home. So, meaning go home, you go home by yourself.
Where was your mom at during all this shit?
My mom was taking care of us, and my mom was working. The thing was, my mom worked hard, and I didn't realize that because I was a baby at the time. I was 2 years old, and and if I say this incorrectly, somebody can correct me.
Speak louder into the mic.
Yeah, if somebody wants to correct me, they can. But from my memory, on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, we were evicted from our house on West Klein. It was in a nice neighborhood. Remember I was telling you about my dad's gambling addiction? Well, yeah, he lost the house and everything. And even though he was funny, he had all those good things going for him, he ruined it all because he gambled it all away.
Is your dad still alive?
No.
How did he pass?
He had 3 strokes, 2 heart attacks, COPD, osteoarthritis. He had sarcoidosis, and it's kind of a rare disease because typically sarcoidosis could start, I think, in your lungs. But I think for him it started in his throat, and I think it maybe spread to the lungs. And I think when it was getting bad, it was affecting his throat, his lung. I'm not sure. But I will say this, shout out to UB Medical Group because they really took care of him, even though my dad was so mean to them. He was fucking destructive.
He's one of them grumpy old men.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't that way because he was a bad person. He was that way because it was more of a reflection of himself. But sometimes when we're giving criticism, we have to ask ourselves, before we give criticism, we ask ourselves, is this a reflection of me or is this a reflection of somebody else? Okay. And for the most part, it's all going to depend. And that's not really certain. Right. Because it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was the case for him as well.
Mom's still alive?
Mom is still alive. She's doing really well. My mom is...
She in New York still?
Yeah, she is. I always tell her, well, how come you don't like move out here in San Francisco? I
Yeah.
want her to visit me. Cause
She
the
might be
one
old. How old is she?
she's
Old as fuck. Does she don't want to get on the airplane?
she's 68. No, she doesn't mind getting on an airplane. And what's funny? She's actually the one who's not afraid of airplanes, and I am. I am terrified of airplanes. I am like, I've seen snakes on a plane, and if Samuel L. Jackson comes out in here and says, get these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane, I will die laughing.
Stupid. So you said you wanted to talk about something.
Well,
What's on your mind?
well, wait. We're talking about this, and we will circle back to that.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I mean, I don't mind.
We're talking about your nursing career, but I don't want to spend too much on your job because
Yeah,
I
I mean,
might
'cause why
ask some-
talk about that when you can talk about? Well, I'm not gonna lie. I actually love talking about my job.
yeah, but the more we talk about your job, the more
Well-
trouble you might get into
No.
later in the conversation.
But, and that's true. But also, my job is what actually helps me at the end of the day be a better person.
Mm.
I love going to work. I love being a nurse. I love taking care of people. And I also like doing this podcast.
Oh, great. Yeah, you should. It's the
Yeah.
#1 podcast in Oakland.
Hey, the Bay is baby. I like that.
So why did you choose California to live all the way on the other side of the country?
Well, because a couple of reasons.
Mm.
One, the weather.
Mm-hmm.
I would say home and winter weather.
What?
Kendrick Lamar. But I didn't, at the time when I was younger, we circle back. Okay. Circle.
Mm.
I did used to smoke weed when I was a kid, I was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was 15. Also with my dad. That's kind of funny. And I think that's why.
You came out here for weed?
No, I didn't. But what I do want to do, I didn't come out here for weed. I came out here because I want to be the best nurse I could be.
Yes.
I want to be able to protect people. I want to be able to take care of people. And I want good health outcomes. And I want a good community.
And you couldn't do that in Boston or Texas or anything?
No. Because I like where the people are. Like Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The black people, that's what you're saying?
No.
Yeah.
All people. No. Can't say that.
I'm joking.
We are joking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that way. It's not.
Mm.
Because it is the black people. And we have to recognize that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Do you, when you first moved out here, was it hard for you to find community of friends?
No and yes. So, it wasn't hard because of who I am. I love people. I'm naturally, I hate saying it, I'm more of an extrovert. I would like to think I'm an introvert because I want to be serious like my sister. My sister's like super boss like she likes to like get stuff done. She can get things assembled super fast by herself, but that's not really me. I like to have fun. I like to be more like, hey, let's go have fun, let's go party, let's have like 6 people in a weird room with a jacuzzi.
Now you're talking.
But the thing is,
Orgies.
Sure, but you don't have to have an orgy though.
Yeah.
You could just have really cool music and really good ideas. I think that gets you along pretty far. Like I went to Lightning in a Bottle this weekend, and
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Well, explain how.
No.
Explain what lightning in a bottle is.
I want to correct you on that. It's whitening in a bottle.
Well, what is it? Explain what it is.
Wait, you don't.
I know what it is, but I mean, there's people in Spain listening to this. They don't know what the fuck lightning in a bottle is.
No. Whitening.
Yeah, I heard you, but
No.
explain what lightning in a bottle is.
Nah, my guy. First of all, whitening.
Whitening, yes. What is it?
All right. I'm glad you asked me, because I really thought you weren't paying attention, because the way that you were looking at me.
You understand a lot of people that don't live in the Bay Area listen to this, right? So they don't know what the fuck lightning in the bottle or whitening, whatever you want to call it. They don't know what it is.
Okay. For the record, it's actually called lightning in a bottle. Okay. I'm making fun of it.
We realize that.
Okay, great. Because it is lightning in a bottle, but I wish it's like an immersive art experience, okay?
Yeah.
There's so many things to do. Can I show you my phone?
No. You can show me that later. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm like, that's part of who I am, I guess. So, it was kind of nice because there was like this room where there's even kids there. You just had like music and stuff.
So it's like a music festival.
Well, it's different because I don't want to hear wub 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 wub. Okay, I'm bored of that. Boring. Okay, I want something that stimulates my brain. Okay, I like this. I like Lightning in a Bottle because there was very artsy. This mixtape room, okay, had cassettes of different eras. So you could listen to, for example, like some of the artists that are listed here are Boys to Men. Okay, you could listen to Steve Perry. You could listen to even Elvis Presley. So many good musicians, that really lasted the test of time. And you got to pick which cassette you wanted to listen to. You hand it to the DJ, and they can actually alter the music or play the song.
Okay, that's cool.
And it was really fucking cool. I'm sorry to swear, but
this is a 3-day, a weekend event?
It's a 5-day event. Damn. But I don't do that because
it's too much partying.
Yeah, I'm not really into partying that much. For me personally,
anymore.
Well, I like partying because I like community. Yeah. Okay. I like hanging out with my friends. I like having a good time. Okay. And I like working because when I have a job, I go and I do it every single day. Okay? The reason why when I was 15, when I was telling you about my insecurities and what helped me get over, drinking and doing weed was the fact that I actually I went to work.
Drunk?
No.
Yeah.
That was the only time I wasn't that I wasn't drinking and that I wasn't doing weed when I was younger. Because I actually really love my job. My job is what keeps me sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that because you said you work with mentally ill people?
Yeah, I do.
So it keeps you sober because you realize that, damn, these motherfuckers are way more fucked up than I can ever be.
Wait, who told you that?
Huh?
Who told you?
Told me what?
That I work with.
You told me.
Well, when we walked up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean to say mentally ill. What I meant to say, and what if I did say that, maybe there was a miscommunication. It's more of that, and you can say however you want. If you think of mentally ill, that's fine. Nobody gets mad, okay? It's okay. But it's those who have mental health and behavioral and psychiatric conditions, right? Because sometimes the condition is us, and sometimes the condition is the environment, right?
Yeah.
So, it's hard to distinguish what comes from what, okay? But
and your job is to find out where it's coming from?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't stress you out?
It does. It really stresses me out.
So how does it keep you sane?
Well, that I have really great coworkers and that I have a really great team and I have great patience. Because I know some of these people have done some really bad things. We get killers. I hate saying it, sex offenders.
Do you work in a jail?
No. I work in a hospital.
Is this a regular hospital getting all these people?
Psychiatric. It's an acute care hospital, but it's a psychiatric floor.
My mom used to do something like that, but she used to do it in the city jail in San Francisco.
Oh, really?
There was a whole psychiatric ward where they keep all the inmates that have all those problems, and her job was to counsel them and give them medicine and shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was crazy. She used to tell me a bunch of crazy stories, and I was like, yo, you are old in there working in that jail, and these crazy motherfuckers can just jump on you. And you're old. It's not like you can defend yourself.
Yeah.
So, but she did it for a long time and retired. So she stood the test of time.
Yeah. And that's because nursing is such a rewarding profession. It really is. When you really care about something so much, you want to keep doing it. And that's why I love being a nurse. Because I love going into work every day and seeing my patients. I like when they get better. I like when they recognize me, even though they may have an infection, right? Because, one of the signs and symptoms of an infection is, unfortunately, mental health issues, right? So,
has any of them tried anything with you?
Define anything.
When have any of them tried to touch you inappropriately, or did any try to get with you and did
Right.
some crazy shit.
Yeah. Well, they all try to. I mean, they try, but not really.
Mm.
I'm really fortunate because we have good staffing at the facility that I work at. But not a lot of places do, unfortunately. And you know, some of these facilities, especially federally,
Mm.
they need to increase they need to set a standard. CMS does, or they should set a standard for how many their nurse to patient ratio, or in nursing homes we would call it nursing hours per patient day. Okay, because you have to make sure that everything stays fair, right? You don't want to overwork somebody, and that's what I see a lot of. I see a lot of people getting burned out because they're overworked, and that is very true in hospitals.
Yeah, it seems like it was because of short staffing, short supply, whatever.
It is short staffing, short supply, but even if those two conditions are favorable for the employee, okay, on paper, you also have to look at acuity, and you also have to look at the scenario, and you also have to look at what is going on. Okay, because it's hard to be a nurse. I mean, point, period, blank. You know?
Yeah, nurses these days, they're basically like doctors.
No.
Well,
doctors are doctors.
Well, I know that.
Their license.
I'm saying like an RN nurse is basically, I mean, I'm not saying that she is a doctor.
Right.
But I'm saying they damn near do all this shit that a fucking...
I hear what you're saying,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
you're saying
They do a lot.
caring. They do
Yeah.
a lot, and you're recognizing the caring part, and that's a good thing. I really appreciate that. That's a really important part.
Mm-hmm.
Because caring is one of the best ways to keep healthy, right?
Yeah.
That's what gives that oxytocin, right? That's what your brain needs. Part of your, not only your brain, but your serotonin,
Yeah.
right? To keep you happy and healthy, to keep you living longer, right? So I think that.
Well, I'm changing the subject.
All right, go.
So when you moved out here, you said that in Buffalo, right? There wasn't a party scene, and the drugs, it was very hard to find drugs. And then you come to California where the shit flows like water. Did you really start partying a lot when you came to San Francisco?
Yeah, I did. But no, I didn't. Actually, I actually didn't. I was working really hard throughout my graduate studies. I worked also 3 jobs, maybe multiple jobs, more than 3. Because I took school seriously. I also got my license transferred over, and I worked as a nurse here, and that private school that I went to, that, God bless, or whatever, if you believe in God or not, was really good in a way.
Yeah.
Because it helped kind of shape me.
Mm-hmm. You're saying what's the word I'm looking for? Like maturity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maturity.
Mm-hmm. So you were mature enough to know, like, not to party all night because you had to wake up early in the morning for work or for a test or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
responsibilities are important.
Responsibility. Yeah.
But the problem is you can't undo the problems of the past, right?
Mm.
You can only try to make up for what you can do now. So if there are parts of my head where it's a little bit scattered, that's because of then, probably, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That stuff stays with you for a little bit of time. But that's not a reflection of who you are today,
Mm-hmm.
right? And also, sometimes it can be also situational too, right? When we're under stress.
How old are you?
We'll get to that later.
Well, I know you're not 20. So what were you? What type of person were you like when you in your 20s? Were you like a party girl or a sheltered woman?
Both.
Did you have hidden desires on like shit that
I'm a
you
New
couldn't do?
Yorker. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. Work. That was Khalifa. He's a great musician.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just that he is a great musician. I'm sorry. I just got the song in my head now.
We're talking about you being a party animal.
Well, how I party does not affect my work. And I always keep those two things separate.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I work, I'm responsible. And even before I go to work, I'm responsible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize my future because I really like what I do.
What type of parties do you like to go to?
Well, I was telling you about LIB with that cassette where you put it in.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you like an after hours girl? That's in like the after hour raves that stay open till like 6 a.m.
I do. Yeah. I do like to go out. I like to go out. It's just that I get nervous.
About what?
I get nervous about what people think about me and if it's going to hurt my future.
This is what you're thinking when you're out at a party?
No, it's what I think about all the time.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to cope with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now I'm thinking like, oh crap, is everything that I said to you going to be used against me in the future? And
I doubt it.
No.
I mean, I'm not that big.
It will. And
it might help you in the future.
How will it help me?
How would it hurt you? That's the question. Because if it can hurt you, it can help you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know why it can hurt you, then how do you know it won't help you?
Because, well, I don't.
And I always say, like,
I think there are factors. I think there are factors, and I think there are indicators that would lead me to believe that there's a way to kind of determine. Usually you have like this graphic organizer. In like psychotherapy, you kind of break down, what it is you're afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
And what is you're afraid of, why you're afraid of it, kind of like where it comes from, when you last felt it, what's the worst and the best that can happen, and the probability of it happening. Sometimes we don't really know the probability of it happening. Could be a lot, could be a little. And that's the scary part. Okay. Unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta say you don't give a fuck.
You can.
However people see you, people are going to make up their own. You could do one thing and then 5 people might take what you say in 5 different ways. Because it's about however you meant it, right? Those 5 people are not going to know what you were thinking when you said it. So they're going to dissect what you say and base it off of the way they think. So you could say something that's totally not racist, and then you will have 5 people who might take it as racist, but deep down in your heart, you know it's not what you said wasn't racist, but they can interpret it and dissect it and make it racist because they just want it to be racist. And I'm just using race as a example because it's easy to use as an example.
Huh.
This is like when all these celebrities, they get caught, like when their old tweets get pulled up from like when they were 16 and shit, right? And then they said some shit that's racist when they were 16, and then someone puts it out in the world in modern time when they're like 47. And I'm like, yo, I mean, I look at it like he was 16 years old and you're bringing this up when he's 47. Nothing in between that gap said that he was racist or he'd never done anything that was racist. But the person who brings it up and sheds the light on it wants him to be racist. So he finds a way to make him racist. You understand what I'm saying? And then they apologize. Be like, oh, I'm not racist. I didn't mean to say that. I was 16. I'm like, yo, you said it when you were 16. You probably meant it when you were 16, but I mean, you're human. Shit changes. Like, I grew up not liking carrots, but now I love carrots. Shit changes.
Mm-hmm. It does change. I do really, really, really believe that. Because not only have I seen it, but I felt it. Like, you see all different senses. Things do change. I think it's how you cope with those changes that really makes it different. But there are people that don't change.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a problem.
But I mean, if that's who you are, don't apologize. It's just that's who you are.
Well,
I hate when people apologize for things that they do, like, and what they say. If you meant it when you first say it, don't apologize because other people have a problem with it. That's what you think. Stand on business.
Well, and I do agree with that. But I think the reason why they're apologizing, it could be also conditional. Okay? So if somebody's apologizing because, remember when I said I was sorry I swore?
Yeah.
Or did I say that? If I said that, sometimes people will say that as like a they're misconstruing their words. They're not, their words aren't coming out correctly. Okay? They're not articulating their words correctly. And that's okay. And, sometimes our brain is working so fast that our mouth can't keep up and can't keep firing everything that fast. Right? So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I grab a tissue? I really gotta blow my nose.
Sure. I mean, you can use those. You see those hand wipes? You can use those. That's all I got.
Yeah. So, like this. All right.
You're not in the mic. They can't hear you.
All right, podcast. Look at this. All right. So, when it says, when warnings, when using this product, do not use in or near the eyes in case of contact with eyes. If you have sensitive skin, do not inhale or ingest. So if you put this over here, it's basically going against whatever this.
Man, that
thing.
shit. Those
Yeah.
are the weakest wipes in America.
Well, actually, no, because it's actually good wipes because it has, according to the label, okay, it has 75% alcohol and anything above 68, 69, something. Okay, if 69 is funny, but there's a certain alcohol percentage in the 60s, okay, that it needs to be above in order to kill germs adequately. If it's anything less than that, you don't want it. So if the manufacturer Sunscope is accurate, okay, with this, then it's a good product.
I use that for everything. Wipe my ass with it. Use it as ass wipes.
Well, that's not good.
Hand wipes.
Yeah.
I wipe my tables with them.
Uh-huh. Well, luckily you don't maybe have sensitive skin.
I don't.
Yeah. My skin is so sensitive. I have like cuts. I'm like, ah.
You
Like
bite your nails?
Yeah.
Is that some nervous habit?
Yeah. Well, not even just nervous. If I see that there's anything that's like imperfect, I try to break it off, which is not.
You left out one nail.
You know what? I don't know.
You couldn't get that off.
I don't know how to remove it.
How'd you remove the other ones?
They just came off naturally. And the thing is like, I should probably Google up how.
Or you can just bite it off. I'm pretty sure it'll pop off.
Watch. How to remove nails. Gel nails, yeah. Now when I do a Google search of anything, what I do that's helpful and that I want like a credible source, meaning that the source is from a .gov, .edu, or .org.
Yeah.
I type in the search bar and I go space and I go site colon dot and then whatever it is. I usually use .gov because I like to hope that, the government says the best things, but sometimes, if you don't believe in the government, you can use other sources. And there's stuff.
So what does it say?
Ready, spaghetti? And if you don't feel like looking at that one, .edu is always a good one. So .edu sometimes is good too. No. You can look at different ones. I don't know if you can see.
Well, let's not get a tutorial about using the internet. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to use the internet already.
No.
Let's continue this podcast.
No. Sometimes I don't think people do.
Well, this is not the place for them to learn.
Well, I think it is because, there's a lot of media outlets that just talk about people's opinions. And I do think I think there's some merit to that. I think it's important to talk about opinions, but I also think talking about the facts is important too. Because substance really builds character, right? It builds depth into a conversation, and it also gives weight to your words.
What's one thing that
That should be done that?
yes. What's one thing that the facts that the media puts out that the facts are not true? Give me one.
Well, okay. I would say Apple Music's top 100 songs, because
Well, that's just opinions.
exactly. Because when I looked at the articles
That's a list of opinions.
and you looked at it,
I haven't looked at it, but I know that they put out a list of the top albums, and every company that puts out a list of top anything, people are just going to disagree and give different opinions. So, I mean, a list is basically just for them to be talked about,
right?
and get like clickbait to Apple or whatever that article was.
Exactly.
Yeah, because all you see on social media is like, oh, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this being this number, or how come this album's not on the list, and shit like that.
And I think a part of the reason why people don't agree with it is because they're looking at, if you look at Apple's press release, okay, it talks about how they crafted their team of experts along a select group of artists, songwriters, producers, and industry professionals. But nowhere in there does it indicate that there's any quantitative data in there. In fact, they actually say the opposite. They indicate that hold on. There's an editorial. One second. Fully independent of any streaming numbers on Apple. Why the hell do I care then? If it's not dependent on the numbers, and you're just saying your opinion, why do I care? You could say your opinion all day and all night.
Yeah.
And I can't change your opinion.
What was the top album that the Apple said? Does it say? The number one album they think?
Number one album is
Or the Bee Gees or something, huh?
The Miseducation
Oh my God.
of Lauryn Hill.
They said that's the number one album of all time?
Yeah. Nah, I never even listened to this.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
I'm so tired of that album getting so much.
I mean, maybe I've listened to it.
It's a good album, but I mean, number one? Hell no.
Maybe I listened to it and maybe I didn't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, possible. Well, you probably heard all the goddamn songs. You probably didn't listen to the album fully, but you've heard all the songs. Because they play them on the radio, they play them everywhere. So you heard every single song on the album. You just probably haven't sat down and push play. You know
probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do listen to a lot of music. Mm-hmm. And when I'm listening to music, I'm usually talking to hella people.
What's your number one album of all time?
That would be hard to say because, I mean, it changes, right? Depending on what mood I'm in and depending on other factors. But I feel like Third Eye Blind stuff really holds up over time, which is actually really cool because they live in the Bay.
So your number one album of all time would be a Third Eye Blind album?
Possible not. That's really hard. There's so many freaking good albums. I mean, and that's why probably Apple is having a tough time deciding what album's what. But
yeah,
I think that
they already decided. It's not a tough time.
Well, they can revise their list, and I think they should I think they should also include the numbers in there.
Well, I don't think people really give a fuck enough to.
I think that would actually give more merit to what they're saying, because
I don't think people care that much.
I do.
You're losing sleep of what Apple says the number one album is?
No.
You don't give a shit about what Apple thinks.
Of course I don't. But you got people out here like Anthony Fantano, The Breakfast Club.
Well, that's their job to talk about it.
Well,
We're just regular people who are like, oh, Apple says this is this. Okay, who cares? Not going to make me listen to that Lauryn Hill album again.
No, but it might make you realize, oh, Lauryn Hill is a person and a thing. Let's not act like pop culture doesn't influence us. It does.
It influences the weak-minded people who can't think for themselves.
Nah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Even the strong-minded people do too. There was this guy that I really like, and
let me ask you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you talk about it.
Well, I want to hear about this guy.
Well,
so I can talk shit.
No, I'm not gonna talk shit about him.
No, I will.
Oh, he's a good guy.
I'm joking, but tell me the story.
I'm glad one of us is joking. I'm just kidding. I'm always joking.
So the guy, you had a crush on him. He influenced you to do something.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's really hard for me to sit for a while.
Yeah, go ahead. You can stand just talking to Mike.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Sometimes I have
pain. You got back pain?
Yeah. I got it like stretch at times.
I don't mean to be rude, but do you think you have back pain because you're...
No, I just... Because I'm short and because the way I'm sitting, yeah. And because I got hurt by a car accident, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Your story.
Oh.
You forgot
from
already.
weed?
No.
Yeah.
We're talking about influence, pop culture influence. Well, let me say what I was going to say then.
Well, can I say this too?
Go ahead.
I would really like to see if in the past, if weed really does help with your joints.
Weed?
Yeah.
I think it does.
But
weed is like a medicine now.
But like sativa and indica, because there's two different blends, right? And
I don't smoke. I have no idea about weed.
And the other thing too is CBD is different than THC. So I would like to see whether, and if the literature exists.
Probably is.
Yeah. Then comment in this, okay?
Well, I know it helps you with seizures.
I believe that. I bet
they give it to children who have seizures, and it stops the seizures.
Reportedly, it does decrease the intraocular pressure, intracranial pressure. It's pressure in the brain. And maybe that's why I used to do it, because I had so much pressure in my head, because I was always trying to live all these expectations in the past. But I think that kind of going to therapy and really kind of evaluating myself really helps with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. It was working. Sorry, my eyes are kind of dry. My nose is kind of stuffy. I have A positive blood. And I just have like a whole bunch of dust.
So what I was going to say is, when we were talking about pop culture influencing people, would you, if you're scrolling on Instagram and if you saw Taylor Swift say, "Hey guys, buy this t-shirt. I like this t-shirt. You guys should buy it too." Would you go buy that shit?
Is the t-shirt dope?
No, I mean,
that's a factor. Because listen, if the t-shirt sucks,
it's a t-shirt that you wouldn't wear. Okay.
How is the quality of the t-shirt?
It's just something that you wouldn't wear. It's not your style.
Because the thing is, you can make something pop. Trust. you're making that white t-shirt pop, right?
The t-shirt is a t-shirt that's wouldn't be on your radar. You don't have no interest in it. You don't like it. But would you buy it just because Taylor Swift says to buy it? There's a lot of girls that would buy it just for that reason. They hate the t-shirt, never don't give a fuck about, but Taylor Swift says buy it. I'm just going to buy it because she said.
Do I do that?
That's pop influence.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Those are the weak-minded girls.
That's why I like buying things in a store versus buying things online.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you buy things in a store, you can actually test it.
Yeah, but you're missing the point of what I'm saying.
No, you're not. I'm not.
I'm talking about the influence. Would you do something just because someone says,
no.
A celebrity says, oh, you should do it?
Let me run it back. I would not do that because I like to test it for myself. I'm not about to have somebody else do something for me because maybe I don't trust their judgment.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, just because they're just because
I can see it.
No. I mean, I do love her.
You're one of those
and God bless her.
Swifties who just will buy some shit just because she says it. Damn shame.
No, I think that she is a great artist. Point period blank. But I wouldn't. I don't follow her.
Yeah, I don't see the.
I don't follow
the
her.
hoopla behind her.
My brother likes her a lot, and that's just because he's attracted to her. You know what I mean? But
she looks like a girl just walking around the street.
That's fine.
Average chick.
She's
not ugly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like facial, like the symmetry in her face is probably, on point. She has defined features, right? She's memorable. But, I mean, that's superficial. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, does a celebrity really influence people? And I do believe, yes. But I don't think they're weak-minded. I think that they're just looking for answers. And that's okay. That's okay to, feel sort of influenced. But I think whether you have influence versus you have your own identity is important, right? Because having your own self-worth is really valuable, especially when you're in a relationship or you're making your own decisions for yourself, right?
Are you single?
Yeah.
Why do you grin when you say that?
What? I didn't grin.
Huh?
I didn't grin.
Oh, you smiled when you said that.
Well,
not a trick question.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a trick question. I know why I'm single.
Why are you single?
I already know. Because I always like to go dancing. I always pick going dancing over hanging out with the guy and hanging out with my friends. I will always be like,
why can't you just go dancing with the guy?
Because they want to go to sleep and I want to stay up. Naturally, like I said, I'm an extrovert. People think I'm on drugs. I'm not on drugs. I just really like people. And when I'm around them, everything flows a lot faster. Faster. So it just makes a lot of sense for me. So
you're not a relationship type of girl?
I like relationships. I think they're really beautiful.
Then how come you won't change to stay in a relationship?
I will change.
Huh? You just said...
It's not change, it's grow. Because I think growing is when you're evolving. And even Jay-Z, in his 444 album, right? Even he's showing some growth at that. And I also think that...
I just think he just got caught cheating, and he was forced to have growth.
If he did, he did. That's his own personal stuff. But the important thing is that, you're supposed to grow as a person. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, why stay the same? Now, you can decide how you want to grow. That's okay if you make the same mistakes. Mistakes happen. Life happens.
Would you, if you were in a relationship, would you do something that just to please your partner? Like if your partner wanted to have a threesome or go to a sex party?
I actually really need to blow my nose.
Use those.
I don't want to blow it in my. We talked about that.
Oh, you're not sniffing it up. It's not going to hurt you. Trust me.
My nose will get really sensitive.
Your nose is not going to get sensitive.
My eyes will get sensitive. If that goes near my eyes. This is shit I think about. I'm sorry.
Don't blow your nose on your hands. It's disgusting. Wash your hands where? You know we're doing a live podcast, right?
Pull that up. I gotta have sanitary conditions, right? I'm not judging on them, though.
All right, so well, first I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. This was a enlightening conversation.
Thanks.
In a bunch of different directions, but whatever.
There are some things I kind of want to circle back to.
Go ahead.
Okay. You know how I talked about Drake and my dad?
Mm-hmm.
I think, how I think they couldn't accept themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And why I feel like they're in the same boat. And both of them being Jewish. I don't know where this one's going to go. But I will tell you this. I hope whatever I said makes sense. And I also want people to know that just because you draw just because you see a pattern in people doesn't mean it's real. Like how I thought there's a pattern between Drake and my dad, that's not real. And the pattern between my dad and me isn't real. Right? Because we could be two different people. See, he didn't change, but I did. Because I actually found a job that I liked, but he didn't. He found a job, but he blew it. I'm not going to blow it. Because I actually like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important to have a good reward system for yourself in place and to kind of understand what your reward system is so that you can stay sober. Because I think that really helps. And also figuring out how to avoid those triggers to stay sober. Can we kind of talk about that?
Your triggers?
No, not just mine, but I think other people's too. And I also think that, kind of pulling from evidence-based practice, and also pulling from talking with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What triggers you?
Anxiety, I think, fear of failing, fear of, for me, not having a job. Because I was telling you before, my dad gambled all the house and everything away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I put myself to work 3 jobs. And I
mean, you're not working 3 jobs now, are you?
I am.
Yeah.
I work 1, I am a psychiatric nurse. 2, I work at for private law firms as an expert witness. And 3, I am a it's called a nurse observer for personal injury and workers' comp cases.
Yeah. So you out there snitching?
No, I'm not snitching. I am just documenting. Because I know it's funny, but it's not my opinion.
Yeah.
In that scenario, in the third scenario,
Mm.
that one is more of like, I'm just obtaining the facts and what is said. My opinion in there doesn't matter. But what does matter is whether or not the doctor violates one of the, Supreme Court laws or rules or, sorry.
You ever seen that TV show on HBO, Nurse Betty, I think it was called?
No, I'm not a really big fan of watching TV shows.
Yeah.
I like making
that's
TV shows.
Who you remind me of. And I don't even know if that was the title of the show, but it was about this nurse and her fucking she was a nurse that was like addicted to drugs. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying her there was a lot of shit going on in her personal life, but then when she went to work, it was like straight work, and then once she got off, everything went to hell. But when she was at work, she was like one of the top nurses. Then as soon as she got off, her life was so crazy away from work.
See, I really don't like that you say that because
I'm not saying
Okay.
that's you. I'm just saying.
But I understand in the past.
Yes.
And I understand that. So
Yeah, I only say that because you said you party a lot and then you're able to still go to work.
Well, the thing is that people associate partying with drugs,
Mhm.
and that makes sense.
Yeah.
But actually, it helps me stay away from drugs. What actually triggered my drug problem
Mhm.
was not having a job.
Yeah.
That was what triggered it. Being alone and not having a family. Because
Those
I'm out-
3 good reasons.
yeah, and it's hard because I'm in California by myself, and I have friends, but I miss my actual family,
Mm.
and I want to make a family. And I'm looking at these guys right now.
Oh shit. Yeah. No.
And there are good guys. There are good guys. I do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just gotta find the right one,
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
right? But I think that takes time, and I think sometimes I can't speak for anybody else, but I can say for me that I get ahead of myself.
Mhm.
I want things right here, right now, and that's not how it should be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, go overseas. You'll get right here, right now vibes. If you know what I mean, that's some 90 Day Fiance shit. That's a joke, but you don't
Yeah.
watch TV, so you don't get it.
I don't. I really don't. I like that show. My friends liked it in the past. I don't think they watch it anymore, or maybe I'm just not as close with them as I
Mhm.
used to be.
Mhm.
And that's because I don't really watch shows like that. I don't really. But
Do you don't have to work tomorrow?
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
but
What's your nurse schedule, like early mornings or what?
I work 3 to 11:30 p.m.
Oh, that's cool.
But can I be honest? I'm gonna be
Yes.
honest.
Go ahead.
The reason why I'm here is because I made a mistake at work, and I lost these pills for a little bit,
Oh my God.
and I didn't know where they were, and
What the hell
sometimes
does that got to do with anything?
I got put on paid administrative leave.
Oh,
Yeah,
now the truth comes out.
and I really fucking wanted to go into work today.
Oh shit.
So funny.
Oh my God.
It's really not funny. That
So
was
you
like my fucking job. That was the thing that fucking kept me up every day.
you lost some pills?
And I found them.
So what's the big deal?
No one got hurt.
How'd you
What?
lose? Wait a minute. So you lost pills. What was so important about these pills? They were like a patient's pills?
Yeah. Yeah. And sorry. This really sucks. Really fucking sucks. Cause it's like you work so hard every day. You really fucking do. It's not a tissue. You work so hard every day, and uh
Well, yeah, man.
you work hard
Mistakes
every
happen.
day, and it's okay to get sad. It's okay to cry because sometimes life is hard. That's okay.
Mm.
Uh Mistakes do happen, but it's how you fix it. That's what's really important. And I try to do the right thing. Not entirely, because no one's perfect, but I found them. What happened was I was wearing an Apple jacket, and it wasn't my jacket. I've been wearing that jacket for years.
Mm.
And
They try to say you were trying to steal the pills or something?
yeah, I think that's what they're getting at. And
I mean, that's
wouldn't.
the only reason they would put you on leave.
I would not step those. And they can check my records.
Mm.
They can look at all my records in the past. I don't care.
No, I'm pretty sure this is a union job, isn't it?
Yeah, it
You guys
is.
in union? Okay.
I was not able to get a representative available when I asked for it. And that really made me sad. Because that violated the wine gardener's rights rules.
Mhm. Did you continue to get questions when you couldn't have a representative?
Yeah.
Why? Did you know that they can't question you unless a representative is present?
Because they said it would be best for me to
So they lied to you. Don't ever believe the company. The company doesn't care about the workers. Their best interest is their own interest.
yeah, but I care about the company and I do believe in them.
That's where you fucking up at.
I don't think it's the company, and I don't want to believe that. I want to believe.
They question you knowing that you were supposed to have a representative, and they did it on purpose. So if they really cared about you, they would have been like, okay, there's no representative. We can't question her. And they would have waited until you had a union representative present. So now that happened, I mean, I don't know. You can talk to the union and be like, oh, you guys violated a contract clause or something like that. If they try to push anything further with this, I mean, that's my advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that same thing happened to me once. I got in trouble and they tried to question me. I was like, hell no, I want a union member present.
So what happened to you?
A union member present came. They couldn't question me. And then we had to wait for a union member representative. And then I got questions.
And then what happened?
And then they put me on paid leave to investigate, I guess. So basically, I had a little free month vacation getting paid. And then they called me back, and then that was it.
Really?
They didn't have any proof of what they were
good.
were trying to do.
That's good. Because that made me feel a lot better. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because I was starting to get a lot of anxiety.
I know. If I was you, I'll be partying right now. Well, not partying, but I mean,
I'm trying not to.
That's the good thing about union jobs. You just can't get fired like that. And it has to be something that's like real heavy. Like, it has to be like drugs. Like, oh, you were doing drugs at work, or you came to work drunk, or it has to be shit like that in order for them to like let you go without any fight from a union.
Nope, I wouldn't. I love my job.
Yes, I mean, what are you worried about then?
Okay, good. Thank you for saying that. Because, like, honestly,
Did they drug test you?
No, And because why would they?
I mean, I don't know. I think that's not something that nurses don't get drug tested on a periodic basis.
You would if they suspected it.
Okay.
But let's be honest. I wasn't.
Mm.
And on top of it, I wouldn't. And on top of it, I care about my patients. And that's the most important thing is their health and safety. And let's also be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that patient's pills anyways. I do not want that shit. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I'm okay.
Mm.
No, nah, I'm okay.
How long you been on leave?
Since Friday. And
This is new.
Yeah, it's been really upsetting me.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably see because I cried. But I was really strong when I was at work. I was like, don't cry, Jess, because your boss told you she doesn't want to see a person cry. And that really kind of upset me, actually, more than I thought. Because I was trying not to cry in front of my boss. Because I don't want her to think I'm weak. But I think it's kind of weird how I'm more comfortable crying on camera than I am crying in front of her. And I think that stems from the fact that she's kind of scary.
She is?
Well, she's not scary. I'm sure she's a nice person in real life. But it's just that and maybe she isn't, maybe she isn't. I'm not going to judge her on that, because what does it mean to be a nice person, right? And that's so Apple Music, it's so subjective.
Yeah.
Right? There's no really way to measure that. I mean, I guess you could see the number of good deeds that you do, the impact that you have on people's life, and how many friendships you have, but that doesn't really. In order to do that social math, that would be really hard to calculate, right? So, I think that really kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think you're good. I wouldn't worry about it.
Thanks. I really appreciate you saying that because I really needed to hear that. I was really like, do I need to go to therapy? Because I'm like, this month is going to be so hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be really freaking hard. So if you see me in the Bay, hit me up on Instagram.
I was going to say
Jessie P.
Well, I was going to get back to my conclusion. Appreciate you coming on the podcast and talking about things, sharing your life stories, getting personal. It takes a lot of...
Can I also say something too?
What?
Okay. I'm going to be honest. Like I said. What happened was I went to that immersive event space thing. Okay. Lightning in a bottle. And I thought I had someone put nasal nasal saline. It's not nasal saline. It's
just I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They put drugs in there. And it was kind of fucked up. I'm sorry to swear. I'm not sorry. I know we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great. But what they did was they put the actual medication in there, and they partially put cocaine in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do cocaine. And they didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. And if they did tell me, I wasn't listening. I don't do cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And that really fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's like someone trying to date rape you.
Well,
So
and I want to say this. If you are, sharing medication with each other,
yeah.
I think if you are sharing medication or drugs or whatever, I think both parties should have an agreement with each other that should say, hey, I did this drug and I did that drug. Like, this has this in there. Do you understand?
Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory.
No, it's not. Because
I
that
know it's
wasn't
not,
said.
but it should be.
That wasn't said.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
We have to end this
Okay.
because I got to use the bathroom.
Okay.
Tell the people if you want to share anything, your social medias, like people want to reach out.
You know me, Jesse P. Check me on Instagram. Support community canvases on Instagram. The Buffalo Hostel on Instagram. Also, Dance Safe. They're a really good organization. They're a nonprofit. It's about harm reduction. Against supporting the community, and they also test drugs. Okay, so shout out to them.
All right. Once again, it's Everyday Celebrity Podcast, and we are out. You.